Welcome, it's SVPod. Alongside Stanford Steve, Red is here somewhere. Wandering around. Shout out to our friends at the Potomac Grocer. Steve brought by an Italian Red. Quickly sniffed that out. Trying to climb over my broken body to get at it. Week later, let me just tell you, everything hurts. Road rash is horrendous. What a mess, dude. It's just so bad. But it's okay. We're here.
Yeah, you got your ball, which means we're watching games.
Yeah, let me just tell y'all, there's a long list of oddities about me.
Weird.
It's a weird thing.
Yeah.
When I watch NFL games, I have this baseball. And I just have it, nervous energy, and I just am, I'm getting my grip. Little curveball, little two-seam.
And boy, do you get your grip on that bad boy.
What a weirdo.
Yeah.
Okay. We've all got stuff. You do too. Don't judge me. I mean, my list is longer than most. I'll grant you that. But this is, we just got the little two-seam, four-seam. So we're watching the NFL, but look, we waited until Sunday.
Yeah.
Because we needed to wait for the bracket. It's out. It starts with this. It was apparently Bama and SMU. That became the thing. Am I on an island? Like, the more I look at Ole Miss, I'm like, why not them?
Thank you.
What'd they do wrong?
But that's over.
I get that it's over, but didn't Ole Miss beat Georgia and South Carolina by a whole lot more than Alabama did?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they did. Oh, they lost to Kentucky. I get it. It's not as bad as losing to Oklahoma the way they did. But somehow Bama, strength of record, strength of schedule,
they are the only team that Kentucky beat in the SEC. That's
not great.
No.
Okay.
They're all flawed.
Everyone's flawed. I thought
we're flawed.
Apparently, me, you, I think the Bear. I think our guy Felica was in on Ole Miss as well. So we were on the three of us on an island. What a sad island that is. Three bald middle-aged guys hanging out, going, Ole Miss should be in. Anyway, it's in everyone's mind. Seemingly, it came down to SMU or Alabama. And in the end, Rhett Lashley's guys, he came on me on SportsCenter. He said, we're in. If we don't play, we're in. We shouldn't get knocked out for losing. They didn't. I see you repping SMU football gear.
Hell yeah.
You feel like that's the correct call?
Yes.
Okay.
I do. And to your point, I think that talk got a lot louder when you brought up last week the idea of Alabama not getting penalized for what they look like against Oklahoma in that loss. Kirk came on the playoff show today. He called that game. He used the word embarrassing. Guys on the desk used that word embarrassing. And it is interesting. I mean, this has been a thing in sports forever. The saying, it's better to lose early than late. Mm-hmm. And that's what you had to do. You saw Miami get bit by it with two of the last three they lost. You saw the Alabama late loss after they looked so good at LSU.
They really did.
That's what was, I going into that game, I thought they had the best offensive line in the country. Then they go on the road to Oklahoma. It was their Super Bowl, and they look like poop. So we got it. I still have issues.
Okay. With the board?
With the seeding.
All right, well, we'll get to that.
Okay.
Let's stay present with SMU, Bama, because everyone does have warts. And I talked
Do you have warts? I don't have any warts.
I don't.
They're
think
gross.
Yeah. I had one when I was a kid on my foot.
Was it like brown?
It had,
and then the color wore off?
Well, there was like dots in them and like a planter's wart. So you know me, I'm a picker.
Farm.
So you give me an X-Acto knife and time, buddy, and I'm going to win that fight. And eventually just enough surgeries just went away. God, I'm a weird dude, man.
Are you on meds? Like, did you up your meds this week?
No, I take Advil in the middle of the night because my ribs hurt so bad. I wake up in the middle of the night and limp my old ass into the bathroom and just chug Advil. I mean, I've eaten those things like the kids eat Skittles or M&Ms. But anywho, I just talked in circles last night about SMU, and if they lose, it's 24/7.
Yeah.
If they lose bad, they don't go.
I agree.
Because no one out there screaming, they should be in. But they did fight back, and they do lose on a bazooka blast at the end, 56 yards, and now Clemson's in. How about that? But if you ask yourself honestly this question, tell me your answer. Who'd they beat? Duke? Did you see that game? Because I did, because I had Duke. They turned the ball over. Steve's got his hands up 6 times. They survived not 1, but 2 missed field goals at the end of the game. They score in overtime. Duke scores in overtime. Duke's like, let's go for 2. They don't get it, and that's their best win. A 6 turnover, dodge 2 missed, actually 1 field goal they blocked, and get a stop on a 2-point conversion, a win by 1 against a Duke team that, all right. And then you lose a close game to a Clemson team that let's do that transitive thing. They're a 3-loss team that's not in unless they win. And got smashed by a Georgia team that, Bama beat. So you could do that if you want for them. And then I get stuck and I go, that's not great. But then, Oklahoma tape. I was loud about it last week. Like, how's this not penalizing? In the end, I think it was. Mm-hmm. And it probably should be. Also because last year they got the benefit of the doubt over Florida State. Mm-hmm. So you can't be sad for Bama.
No. I thought Coach Saban made a great point when today. He's like, none of these coaches from
can complain.
None of them.
Yeah.
And
I'm sorry to interrupt you.
But I did bring up Friday when he said that in our meeting. I was like, Coach, if you were one of those, you would be complaining.
Yeah, maybe a little bit. I
was like, you went to you were anti-gambling your whole life, and you brought up that the year with Kansas State and TCU, you go to the guys in the desert and dig up fictional point spreads. That was your argument, and then he started laughing at me.
Hey, listen, everybody uses the stats that make your story look better, and Rhett, when he came on last week, nothing he said was wrong. It's just you're shining the flashlight on the things that make you look best.
Consistency of performance.
And listen, they battled and they fought back. I wondered in that moment, do you go for 2?
That's what I thought.
Because if you get it, you're in, period.
Yep.
And if you don't, then you get the benefit of they went down swinging.
Yep.
They didn't ultimately do that. If they do and they get it, Bama's in. Had to be an absolute roller coaster for Tide fans watching that game because it's Clemson up big and you're like, good, we're good. Now here comes SM and you're like, ugh. Now, oh man, we need him to win, don't we? So in the end, let me be clear. Everyone's got flaws. I have zero issue with SMU being in. Now let's look at the grid.
Yeah.
Boise has a bye. Not a home game. I kept saying that last week. I was wrong. That's my mistake. They get a bye.
Mm-hmm.
How do they get a bye?
Because it's the highest ranked conference champions.
But that's a dumb way to seed your tournament.
It is.
It's just stupid.
I'll fix it.
Not as stupid as the Golden at bat. What are we doing? What? Hey, we just struck Shohei out with the bases loaded. Well, let's bat him again. Jeez, oh, flip. Anyway, it's dumb. They're not the third. They don't deserve to have a bye. Period. Everyone loves their story. Me too. Sure. Great. They're in. Awesome. No chance they're supposed to be sitting there with a bye. Am I wrong?
It's the rule. What are you going to do?
Have better rules. But, okay, you have issues. What are they?
The seeding.
Who should be seeded what?
Was Penn State impressive last night?
2 things can be true at once. I think they ran for 9 a carry against Oregon. Better buckle that up, Oregon. I was impressed with that. You and I both thought that on defense they had the goods. They couldn't stop Oregon all night.
No.
Couldn't stop them. Like, shout out to Coach Melrose, at all. So, were they impressive? I don't know. They down several scores, kept swinging. I'll give them that. And I was impressed that they hung a big number, but their calling cards, their defense, and they gave up 40-something. So I was not wowed by them. I don't know. Why, do you think they shouldn't be seeded 6th?
No, they lost to Ohio State. Ohio State's 2 spots below them.
At least they got a home game. Ohio State got a home game.
But still.
Right? Well,
look at the draw.
Penn State's path is...
Look at the draw.
Penn State's... If you're a Nittany Lion fan, you get SMU and Boise to get to the semifinals. That is...
I mean...
that. And if you're Ohio State, who beat Penn State, you get Tennessee and Oregon. That's... Compare and contrast. Tennessee and Oregon vis-a-vis SMU and Boise. That's an incredible draw for Penn State.
Correct. And that's bad.
And they didn't deserve it because they lost to the team that
on their home field up 10-0. Fake whiteout.
You think they're trying to avoid Penn State, Oregon in the semis the same way that
there's ways, because Notre Dame, I would make an argument for Notre Dame over Penn State.
Put them 6, make Penn State host Indiana?
There's ways.
Ways.
Not the app. I do love the app.
Steve loves the Waze app.
Use it every day going to work.
I would have used it. I wouldn't have had a criminal complaint against me.
Dang.
How can you be driving recklessly if there's no one on the road but you? Driving fast? Admittedly. Recklessly? Not even close. It's not Mario Kart. I'm not.
But you, sir, were reckless to yourself.
Because I didn't use the Waze app? Or because I was driving around on a moped not paying attention? Hey, chow. Gink.
You don't agree with me?
I do agree with you.
Okay.
That seating doesn't make any sense.
I knew that was going to happen, too, because it was they said teams were going to be penalized for this extra data point. And that's what made me mad, because if Penn State does get to that point and they're in a conversation with Ohio State, there is a head-to-head there. It should be used.
Yeah, that's entirely fair. And they didn't use it. Another thing I was going in circles last night is trying to figure out seeds 5 through 9. It's complicated. It's tricky.
Who do you think should be the 5? I'll say this. I believe they got it right.
I don't see how it isn't Texas. But then I do the same thing with them.
But
I do
they
with
don't
SMU.
have any wins.
Who do they? I do this. Try to be consistent. Apply things consistently with yourself when you're talking in circles to yourself. How are they the 5? They played one good team twice. They got beat twice by them. How about that game?
Oh, I never. It gets better every time. It's you have to go. It's so good with it 50-50. It's so funny. Our guy Kirk Sampson from Auburn, all the SIDs are there. They do a I think it's a Ring of Honor every year before the game. They have every school nominates a player to go into the Ring of Honor. So like you had some classics there this year. Like Dexter McCluster got in for Ole Miss.
Shout out to Dexter.
I'm trying to think of the names. And then Vince Young got in for Texas. You know, he's an SEC legend. You know,
one of the legends of the SEC.
Barry Switzer got in for Oklahoma.
Mink jacket, Barry, smoking butts.
Chase Daniel, Missouri. But it's funny, all the SEC people, the original, you know, the schools, not Texas and Oklahoma. They're like
the core group.
They're all walking around. Everyone, at least 12 people came up to me and were like, man, I still can't get used to these cowboy hats here for an SEC title game. And Texas, let me tell you, they brought the cowboy hats. Saw our guy, Mr. McConaughey, met Mrs. McConaughey. And
anytime the butterscotch jacket comes out, it's a big one.
He's like, come on over here. Meet my wife, Camilla. This is Steve. And so he's talking. He's like, man, the Texas people, sometimes I got to tell them, hold on. They told me it was going to be 50-50. Shit, look at this.
Matthew, it's a Georgia game in Atlanta, buddy. Silver Britches are going to be representing.
I would say 69-31%.
You're the guy in the intramural games that wore the 69 jersey to be like super funny.
Oh,
because boy, that's a hoot. Oh, I get it. Huh? You're whatever.
68-32.
Something Cheddar the ass getter. How about Chalamet?
Awesome.
And can I say something? Can we take a break from this playoff or whatever we're talking about right now? Just to the people that want to be like, hey, he's picking. This is a disgrace. It's a pick segment on a TV show. This isn't like who's teaching your kid. This isn't who's operating on your knee. It's a pick segment. And then the dude shows up and crushes it. Only guy that picks Ohio. How about them? Good shout to them. MAC champs. Only guy that gets that right. And then I see people that want to be like, oh, he's just an actor reading his lines. How miserable are you? How sad is your life that you're sitting around pissed off because an actor picks the picks, shows up and is great, and then you want to minimize the way he did it because he was good at it. My God, you'll be mad about anything. And then I ask myself, why am I looking at what people I don't even know who the hell they are saying on social media?
So you haven't stopped hate reading.
And then I go outside and touch grass, as they say, and I go, you know what? The world's a beautiful place. And people that are pissed off at Chalamet, they got the issue, not this cat right here. I turn the reflection. I turn my gaze inward. That's where growth happens. But I thought the guy was
awesome.
Tremendous. And, like, please tell me he's like a good dude.
Monster fan. Like, we're getting the goods. Big Red's doing the communication with it. Right. We're in the meeting. Pat's got a lot of questions, as he always does. He wants to know, get in there. Is this guy, going to be a fan? How are we going to do? And the request was he wanted to be part of the kick, so Pat's in.
Right.
And I think it was Fallon. And I don't know anything because my daughters are like, Dad, Willy Wonka. I'm like, whoa, hold on. Gene Wilder is Willy Wonka.
True, but he is Smoke Cheddar the ass getter. Cling, cling, cling. Oh, you capping. I can't stop watching that. It's so funny. He's so good as. Anyway, if you know, you know. If you don't, you're like, what is Van Pelt? But anyway, go ahead.
But so then we're watching stuff, and then there's a clip. I think it was Fallon, and Fallon was asking, how do you say your name? Timothy. Tim. He's like, Timmy's fine, or you can just call me Doug if you want. Like he got it.
What's up, Doug?
His confidence was awesome. Like I said, I knew zero. Didn't even know how to say his name. Probably still don't. But it was really, really cool. Like I always look at the person with Reese because Reese has to do the deal. And after 2 picks, Reese was like, "You around for the playoff? Because we got room for you if you want to come do his picks."
I thought it was fantastic.
It was great.
You know what the line about understanding the assignment? Like the dude showed up. The dude understood the assignment. And let's be fair here. Through the years, not everybody that showed up was super buttoned up, interested or invested. Not everybody was. And you guys didn't get as mad about some of them, but for some reason, this was a bridge too far. You people suck. Because he was great.
Awesome.
Back to the grid.
Yeah.
Indiana, Notre Dame.
That's the one I wanted.
I know. I was going to say, I thought of you as soon as I saw it. I'm like, this is what the big boy wanted. I wanted SEC Big Ten, just narratives, agendas, all that. Yeah, we got some of it.
Did you hear Herbie's point about Ohio State?
Which one?
He thought they would be better off getting a road game. Because how that place might be if they go down 7-0 or they go 3-and-out.
I missed that because we were doing little lights on the Christmas tree. We're doing a little.
By the way, front of the house is spectacular.
Thank you. We're proud of it.
There's a lot,
but not too much. That will be my. You tell me.
No, I should say there's a lot of real estate to take in, and you didn't go Griswolds.
Thank you. Well, because we're not tacky people.
And you did it all in a boot. Like, you're a warrior.
Thanks, buddy. I was out there hanging stuff on ladders thinking, if I go out, I'm going out for my family. Slinging a garland around a thing in the front of the house. At nighttime, it is beautiful.
Oh, I can't wait to drive by and bring the kids.
Bring them by. Bring them by. Santa's coming by on the fire truck. I think it's this week. You should come. It's awesome. You get to give them a gift. Another detour. Stunning. If you can do it, there's a thing called the angel tree. through the Salvation Army. Just do it. 100 years ago when I got to ESPN, I was a single guy at the time. I'm like, you know what I'm going to do? I fixed my credit. Took a while.
Area.
Got enough jingle in the pocket here that I can help somebody out. I'll never forget. I'm walking around Old Navy buying the stuff for a family, and it was emotional. Like, you're giving a family a Christmas that wasn't going to have it otherwise.
Mm-hmm.
Our kids, that's their favorite thing about Christmas time, is getting the stuff on the list. Like my one of my sons, it's like, Mom, like, they need a backpack. Like, you don't have a backpack? Like, nah, man, like, understand that. Like, not everybody's asking for the 12,000-piece Lego set. They need just basic stuff. And so he went and found, like, the best backpack he could find. He said, this one seems like it'll last for a while in case they need another one. I'm like, right on. Like, your mind is in this place where you can help and you want to help. And Christmas time's got a lot of things about it, a lot of traditions. But the fact that this angel tree has become a thing for our kids where they look forward to being able to do that for family, and they went and did it last week, got all the stuff, and they were psyched about it. If you can, you should, because the get back is a whole lot more than the give, is what I'd say about that. Angel tree. It's through the Salvation Army. I'm sure there are a million different ways you could do stuff like that. That's the way that we have chosen to do it.
Love it.
That and a zillion lights in front of the house and garlands and things of that nature.
Garland's tremendous.
Thanks, bud.
Against the house. I mean,
keep taking these detours.
Pops.
You were talking about Indiana, Notre Dame. You're talking about
because I think we're going to end up being there.
Really?
Yeah, that's the Friday night game.
Ooh. That's
Indiana, plus 8.5.
Daddy complaining about not getting a home game. Like, buddy, calm down. Enough.
I think he's cost himself Coach of the Year awards.
Well, I mean, there's a thin line between being confident and just, like, poking the bear. Like, when you got on the mic in Assembly Hall and said everybody sucked, and then you went out and backed it up mostly, that's great. But bitching about not having a home game, bud, come on. I get that you beat Purdue by 100, but, like, who'd you beat to be complaining about a home game? I'm not trying to hear that.
I can't wait for that game.
Enjoyed the story. Think you absolutely deserve to be in, but, you know, I mean, Tennessee deserves a home game before Indiana does. They didn't get one, I think.
Agree.
Clemson, Texas, just fun. Different shades of orange, different levels of angst. I think that's fun.
That's the 4 p.m. Saturday game. Penn State, not a night game. Noon, but not big.
Oh, it's a noon game? So now they can be mad at us, or is that one on TNT?
TNT.
So I'm sure they're still mad at us.
Of course.
That's fine. We've lived with that. We've lived in that space for years. Hey, Fox, welcome to the party. Everybody hates you. It's fine. Just keep doing your thing. You know what I mean? We're not going to watch. Oh, you probably will. You probably watch because games are fun.
Yeah.
You have an early lean. Yeah, you look at this and you think, I mean, the Penn State path is certainly advantageous, shall we say?
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. So first line's Notre Dame minus 8.5, Ohio State minus 7.
Ooh.
Texas minus 10.5. Penn State minus 8.5.
In a stunning development, Scott likes the dogs.
That's my first inkling.
Right?
Yeah.
Meanwhile, we haven't even said this team's name yet. Forks up again. Kenny D's guys. Kenny Dillingham, that Kenny D. Holy crap. You and I both liked Iowa State. That was incorrect.
Yeah. And I took Arizona the week before as my
so did I.
As my super dog.
And they won old dirty bastards boot by $1 billion. Scattaboo, he runs with he may challenge Isaiah Pacheco for the most furious runner on the planet. Runs with like an absolute, like a wounded wildebeest.
And to your point, blind underdog, we talked about the attention of Iowa State, no one mentioning their name. But the main factor why I thought Iowa State would win is Arizona State lost their best receiver, Jordan Tice. He had 75 catches, first team all Big 12, Big 12 offensive newcomer of the year. The next receiver with the most catches was Xavier Guillory, who actually played great in that game. He had 17 all year. I think he had 2 touchdowns Saturday. And then their second leading receiver overall is Scattaboo. He had 35.
Here's what you do. Hand the ball to Scattaboo.
Yeah.
And get out of the way. Get out of the way.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if Texas, and they're favored to, but if Texas were to win that game, I don't know that you're going to run into that Texas front with a great deal, with as much success. I'll just frame it that way. Because that Texas front is a lot.
Yeah, and then the other interesting thing is the Fiesta Bowl is one of the sites for the quarterfinals. Boise gets it. So Arizona State's got to go to the Peach Bowl. And as you saw, they didn't really travel well to Dallas. I don't know.
That's an interesting fan base. Like, if we're being honest, this is. It probably takes a while for the wake up call to land, right? They didn't know they were going to be good.
No. I'm not.
But you're in it now, so represent.
It more goes back to why the SEC title game is so freaking good. Is Arizona State and Iowa State played in an NFL stadium? It's a big one. Mercedes-Benz Stadium in Atlanta is a big one, and that thing was sold out. It's awesome. But anyway, that's what's interesting. Oregon's going to be the Rose Bowl, and Georgia is the Sugar Bowl.
Talk about the Ducks for a minute.
Yeah, they're right there with Arizona State.
In terms of what?
Putting it together at the right time. You know, there was some hemming and hawing there. You know, Washington played a first start quarterback in that rivalry game. Oregon goes in, gets the job done, covers. And the week prior was Madison.
Yeah, that's where they were down in the fourth quarter, and it was kind of a.
And there were some things going on there where you thought maybe Lanning was a little pressing a little bit, fake punts and fourth downs and this and that. But to be able to put it on in that spotlight and look the way they did, because I was I was one of plenty of people who, as we're getting close during championship week, are like, is Oregon the best team? I know they're undefeated. Yep. They beat Ohio State. They beat everybody. I just wondered. To me, there is no doubt now. Right now. But to my seeding point, they probably have the toughest road.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot you're going to have to encounter. They're starting with that very first game. It could be a rematch with an Ohio State team that, I think back to them, and I think of C.J. Stroud, and I think of how he played against Michigan and how mad that fan base was at him. You guys hadn't channeled your hate towards the head coach yet. It was the quarterback. And then he came out against Georgia in the semis and was spectacular. If Harrison Jr. doesn't get hurt in that game, we can't know the unknowable. It seems probable to me that they would have won that game. Well, Ohio State now gets to sit around and stew about what happened, how they played, do some self-scouting, ask themselves, what was that? And they got a chance to go on a scorched earth tour. That's an opportunity. Got to cash that check. But I watched Oregon last night against an offense that's not super dynamic get gashed all night long.
Mm-hmm.
That's concerning to me.
To that point, I was really happy because all week I was wondering how Penn State was going to attack Oregon's defense. And I've said all year, I'm like, if you don't have receivers that can separate, you have an unbelievable tight end who should be invited to the Heisman ceremony, 44, if you're not watching games. Throw the ball to your running backs. You have 2 NFL running backs. Throw it to them. You know what they did last night?
Running backs.
Threw it to them. They scored, 37?
Yep, they did. They did.
So, to that point, I think Penn State really did something they haven't done, and that caught Oregon off guard. There's 2 sides to the ball. They come out. They score 45. Dylan Tez,
he was so good.
Wow. Somebody called him slippery. I thought that was really good because you see guys, they're as close as you and I are right now. They don't get a hand on him.
Yeah, no, he's
stop and go, speed, whatever, route running. How many times they were going to run that, I call it a jerk route. hesitation. It's a version of Texas route. He's in space.
Your boy number 3 is pretty good too. Ferguson, right?
Oh, yeah.
Give a little shove on that 4th and 2. A little shove on the 4th and 2.
He had a big drop too.
I felt like he got his hand. Felt like he put his hands on the man 4th and 2.
Yeah. 4th and 2.
I mean, make a play. I get it, but I'm just saying. I don't know. James had some things to say about the officiating. Afterwards.
No, he didn't.
No, he did. He didn't want to say anything, but
now it's SMU.
There you go. But it is interesting that the guy whose record against the top whatever teams is 1 in a lot, and your path to get to the semis is SMU and then Boise. So they won by losing because that draw is someone's path.
That's why I was upset about the seeding.
Well, there's always going to be somebody that's got a gripe. In the end, in terms of who got in and who got out, I understand people are going to complain.
Yeah, they're all flawed.
Alabama, you guys got a pass last year. Anything else about this?
No.
As we're talking, I mean, I'm sure the bowls are coming out.
Yeah, I know. That's why I want to see where Alabama's going. Ole Miss, Colorado. I want to see who they're playing. They said their guys are playing, which is awesome. They're playing.
They are.
There's another thing out there called an insurance policy. Coach Saban was,
explaining how that works.
Yeah, because Bryce Young and Will Anderson were the 2 top picks, right, in that draft.
Mm-hmm.
They played in a Sugar Bowl
against Kansas State
and beat the hell. Yeah.
No, that was Kansas State, right?
Oh yeah, they beat the hell out of them.
It was a Cotton Bowl.
Cotton Bowl, sorry.
The Cotton Bowl.
Sugar that year was SC Tulane.
Had Tulane from my lungs.
Winner on the field.
On the field.
Money line?
I don't remember what happened. Things get confusing.
Army Friday night? Wow.
Yeah, people try to turn that into this Notre Dame didn't win a conference thing, and Army did. Like, they played and Notre Dame beat them to death.
Just stop.
Come on. I get it. They lost to Northern Illinois. The oddest result of the year. But, I mean, you can miss me with that.
Yeah.
We can all appreciate the incredible job Army's done. Big fans of Coach Monken. That fire-up video against before Navy, lay down, bleed
Army
a wall.
Navy should be super fun.
I agree with that.
I can't wait to sit on my couch and watch it.
But you can not go. You can love it and also not turn it into they're supposed to be in instead of Notre Dame, who beat them by 1 million.
Yeah.
Come on. When there's that head-to-head, got your result.
Bryce Daly, 2 of 2 for 17 yards.
Hey, man.
Score 35.
We know our identity, and we're going to live that identity.
Yeah.
We're going to be very comfortable and confident in that space. It's just so weird sitting here on a Sunday and these games are on and all the rest.
Can I give you a possible travel itinerary?
I'm always interested.
I think I need to go warm clothes shopping.
Okay.
Because we're looking at
Notre Dame.
Indiana, Notre Dame Friday night.
Mm-hmm.
Tennessee in Columbus Saturday night. Lambeau Monday night.
Yeah, I would say that some fleece, some gloves. How's your glove game? You don't look like a guy that's got any gloves.
I've been going with the hand because on the set, like, I don't want to complain, but like, you're not moving a lot. You're just sitting there. And I go, because I have to have my computer and the board and all that. I've just been going hand warmers in like everywhere. Every pocket I have, pants and
effective.
Oh, they're the best.
Okay.
And then I'll hold them. Then we have these electric ones that you just hold. Mm-hmm. They're fantastic.
Well, I mean, just connecting the dots here, Steve. It sounds like
feet warmers.
Yeah, those two. South Bend, Columbus, Lambeau. Yeah, you're going to need a.
You want to come?
I don't want to do anything except ice my foot. And
did you get an ace bandage?
No, but I got a boot that you put in the refrigerator or the freezer, and then after you do that, then you can put the ice in there and sort of strap that in there.
Okay. We bringing that
to where?
Dallas?
Probably not.
Why? Afraid you're going to lose it?
No, it just feels like it just seems like cumbersome.
So I'm just going to look at your foot next to me with a Ziploc bag of ice on it the whole flight?
All right, I'll bring. You know what?
Bring it.
Be an adult, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
You want to get better? Get out of the boot.
How long is this going to take with the ribs, though?
Oh, that's a lot longer than the boot.
At night, everything hurts.
Got to be careful, man.
With what?
How about when you go first arm up to wash your head
the rolling,
in the shower?
It's the rolling over in the bed.
Shower?
That's not that bad.
No?
Although the road rash part is the part where the skin is exposed is. I've got this new skin stuff I put on it, and I don't.
Was it sidewalk or road?
In the middle of the road, Steve.
Oh yeah, that's right. You're in a moped.
Yeah, and not ideal.
It's not a scooter.
Vespa, dude, Vespa. Wee, come on. I've done this bit forever. Ciao.
A lot of people in Atlanta sending their best for you. They're worried.
I don't think worry is necessary.
They were worried about
that I'm an elderly
bad
peepaw.
beats like Monday where you're still going to get them in Denver. I'm like, come on. Of course. Playing hurt.
I think that we might have to rely on some college hoops bad beats.
Whoa.
Right?
What, Kentucky last night? Did you watch that?
I did. The fight back there. Their point guard's out. They were down a couple of cats. They're down double digits in the second half in Spokane.
Yeah.
No, Seattle.
No, Seattle.
It's close enough.
They went Clemson to Seattle. Wild.
Is that what they did?
Yeah, they lost to Clemson in that challenge.
Oh, right. One of the two
Tuesday,
ACC
and that
teams.
was Saturday night.
All you Kentucky fans that were mad about Mark Pope.
There's none anymore.
That's
BBN, dude.
That's me doing crickets. I assume that's evident.
You're the best there is at imitations. That's not up there.
Come on, hold on. Yeah, all right, that
No,
sucked.
no,
That was bad.
It's got to be the ribs.
Yeah, I got a hole in my midsection. Lungs are just wheezing. All right, programming note. We're going to do the pod Tuesday, I believe it is.
Flying back. We'll come right back.
Come back and just fire out a pod. We don't need to wait for playoff rankings because they're already out. And then it's not on the books yet, but if I say it, I can speak this into existence. Holiday time. It's the holiday season. I believe we're going to visit with Josh Groban. I told you my very favorite "Oh Holy Night" is his version, and we talk to him about that. Literally that song. That's my goal. Just talk about that song and see where it goes.
Lyrics?
I don't know about that. Just thinking, I love that version of that song. You know what I haven't heard this year? And a shout out to Outsider Mike. I haven't heard Dominic the Donkey this year. Has that gotten phased out?
No, my kids love it. They like the two worst Christmas songs there are.
Dominic the Donkey and Grandma Got Run Over by a Reindeer.
Yep. And the hippopotamus one.
I want a hippopotamus. But your least favorite is Blue Christmas, I thought. Elvis.
Everything. Yeah. The whole Elvis Christmas is bad.
The hippopotamus, the donkey, and Grandma Got Run Over, not high on your list.
Give me Stevie Wonder, What Christmas Means to Me, and we are good.
And
Kelly Clarkson is fantastic, too.
The first Mannheim Steamroller, Silent Night, that'll get you. That'll get you. It was on when we were getting a Christmas tree, and it was...
Did you come by the house and get your Christmas tree again?
At the Good Earth people? Yeah, shout out to Good Earth. We did.
You got another, 12-foot tree?
10. 10's the max. We were doing it this morning. Lights and whatever. I'm up on, ladders, getting the lights. You got to get the lights right. If your lights are wrong.
White.
You can't have willy-nilly. You know what you got to do? You got to go Jameis Winston. You got to squint. And when you squint, that's when you could tell, we got a whole section there where there's no coverage.
Dude.
I'm not joking. That's the trick. Squint. And where you don't, there's spots that don't have lights, you get some lights in there.
I can't. We got to talk about this. White Christmas lights. Right?
That's my choice, yes.
Okay. My dad, when I was little, he had this giant Santa and reindeer he would put out on our front porch. Uh-huh. And he had, the giant, do you call them rainbow lights? You know what? The colored.
Yes, but there's two different kinds. There's the ones that are sort of the pastel-y colored lights, and then there's the ones that are the old school 70s, 80s, like primary colors,
Yes.
but like with paint.
Those. But they were giant. They were like
huge,
fucking candles,
without question.
And he would wrap it around. It was so ugly. It was horrendous.
Stop.
But it was his.
Ow.
It was his favorite thing in the world. And my mom would just be like, "Oh God, it's time." And like he would want to do it day after Thanksgiving, get it all up there. But I'm just laughing, thinking back, man. It's unreal.
I love those. There's the pastel-y colored lights, not my favorite, but the old school big bulbs that are the like primary colors, like
flame.
like
so ugly. I'm
pro that, but we're all white.
No,
lights
I know
on
I'm going to get people mad, but like it's like it's drenched in my head. I could never get that visual. He also one time paid one of his buddies to dress up as Santa and just sit out on the porch.
Like smoking a butt and drinking Schlitz?
I don't know what was on this other side. There could have been a cooler over there. But when you looked out, I was going to bed one night and he would just sit out there. And then one night I was going to bed. I had a room upstairs and I was going by and, I went up there and I'm like, holy shit.
There he is.
Santa's on the front porch.
And he's just hanging out, drinking Schlitz.
I didn't see any of the what was in the cooler, but there was a Santa on. It was, I'll never forget it.
That's fantastic.
It was
well done, Mr. Coughlin.
Yeah, it was crazy.
All right,
I don't know what he had to pay the guy.
You know what? My line from my dad: you got to have a guy. He had a guy that was a guy. There you go. And
Still never know who it was either.
Really?
Yeah,
it's a mystery.
Yep.
Wow, he took that to the grave with him.
Yep.
That's actually better. You know what? Maybe it was Santa.
I know. How we doing with the kids? What do you think?
Oh, one last shout out. North Pole Express out by Groton, actually Essex. We went Friday night.
It's closer to Groton than Springfield, Massachusetts is.
In my mind, everything's Groton adjacent. But we went up. The thought is it's probably the last year for a number of reasons, not the least of which is just like we live in Maryland. We need to get on a plane to ride a train to do the Santa bit. We know the skit now, but they do an incredible job. Yeah. It's kids in PJs. Santa comes on. You get your cookies. You get some hot chocolate. You sing some carols. But we're definitely at the point now where we're teetering. We're teetering. The belief is teetering. But my little guy that asked, he said he's got a guy. There's always some kid that fucks it up. So-and-so said he doesn't believe in Santa.
Whoa.
I said, really?
6-year-old?
Yeah. I said, well, let me tell you something. I said, I believe in Santa because Santa's the spirit of Christmas. He said, he goes, me too. I'm like, good. I said, never. I said, you always will. You should always believe that Santa Claus is the spirit of Christmas. So we're good on that one. But I mean, on the upper edges, I think, probably iffy.
I walked in your house because I thought you were still in there to give you your sandwich. And he comes running over and he's got a hood on with a jersey. And he's looking down the whole time, comes over, gives me a high five. I'm like, oh. I'm like, what are you doing over here? I said, you got to get going watching the games. You got to get ready for your Hemi. And he has the hood on and he just looks up. He just goes, right. Do.
He gave one out. He gave it out. He gave out the winner.
Yeah.
He gave out the winner. Shout out to the little man. He did. Oh, by the way, what do we have? Seahawks and Texans both winners. My little guy
cover.
Oh yeah.
Nice.
My guy Sam won an MVP pin. Delivered.
We're at the school.
I just got it. Just happened.
No, I'm saying he's going to wear it to school.
I think he's just going to put it up in his room someplace. It's old hat for him. He's won a few of them. It's what we do, Steve.
Winners.
But there's some concern out there about we might have to run into the Chiefs. Now the Chiefs, it's a dad quarterback league, and there's a quarterback on the Chiefs that he's well known in these parts.
Oh. Lefty?
No.
Okay.
No, not that one.
Oh.
It's a guy that hung a big number on Pocomoke back in the day.
Oh.
You know him. And he's getting a little chippy, a little chirpy.
Chirpy was a good player.
Mr. Kobeck. Yeah, he likes to tell you that the Chiefs were scored on basically every possession. That's my understanding. Okay. We're
not if it was last night.
Fellas took it deep. Shout out to Senko Ball.
Yeah. Great job, Bob.
Did you show up late?
I did. I came right from the airport.
Good for you.
Got a round of applause.
I bet you did.
And there was no way I was catching up to them.
No, that train left the station early, and that was not the Polar Express. That was the To the Moon Express. I posted in the booth.
I heard.
And listen, I don't want to miss that.
No.
Shout out to the friends. It's great kinship, fellowship, holiday time. But like you stand up in a bar for a while, and it's like my foot is just, I could feel the heartbeat in the foot. Like,
broke the streak of you and I having 20-point underdogs in the Big Ten game and
yeah,
not scoring.
Standing at the bar at Fat Pete's watching Purdue get trucked. Gave out Penn State. They didn't get there either. You know what? Maybe a favorite, Scott. Maybe mix in a favorite.
How about today in the NFL? Any of those?
Oh no! If you're terrible, I like you. It's that time of year.
Do you have every team in Poop Town?
I'm sure. In theory, I do. I mean, I'll back the Poop Town squads forever. You know how the philosophy's gone forever. If everyone hates them, I love them, and the Poop Town squads are.
I was looking to see if we have any Poop Town versus Poop Town.
Jacksonville, Tennessee. Oh, I think Will Levis just got
3-0 at the half.
Yeah, Will Levis just got blasted at the gun there. Hurt the right shoulder. Watching Red Zone. This is too bizarre for me. I could just sit here and watch football and talk all day. I don't know if people are interested in any of this. So I'll say we'll see you Tuesday. Does that sound right?
See you. I think I'm going to come into work tonight.
Hold the phone. A Sunday night appearance from the big man?
Yeah, I haven't seen Tim and Greg in a while, so.
Oh, that's right. We got a Greg McElroy. We're going to have a conversation with him.
Timmy Hasselbeck.
Tim's with us every Sunday.
Couple Ensworth, big recruits signing on signing day. See that?
They got guys. Got guys.
Shout out to North Oconee.
Did they win?
They're playing a week from Monday in the Georgia Dome.
All right. That's Coach Pollock's team, right?
Yes.
Love it, Coach.
He was on cloud 9. It was awesome. Got to watch a little on the stream. I can't wait to watch it. Where will we be? Oh, we'll be in Bristol. Perfect. North Oconee. Beat Blessed Trinity. They're playing Marist, I believe. Who do you tell me went there?
I don't know.
Kyle Hamilton from the Ravens.
Okay. A person just scored a punt return for the Giants that I'd never heard of in my life. And the Riz.
This is good podcast right now.
Yeah, the Riz just slamming his hat. He's just as mad as he could be. Special teams coach.
You could do it live. Coach, yeah.
He clogged a dumper once.
My 5-year-old did this weekend, I heard.
Okay, we've literally reached the point where it's become actual Poop Town. That's stop talking. Let people get back to their lives. All right, we done? Ciao. All righty.